Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another coffee with one of our wonderful instructors, Cliff. Now, Cliff's originally from Boston. He did a little bit of growing up in New Hampshire. Now, he's got a very, very interesting background. So he studied cultural studies, which again really helps him with regards to being a UX instructor for us. And his original things that he was studying was things like propaganda art. From an early start in his career, he's been looking at how one thing affects another, which is really, really interesting. So you can see that's one of those core skills, those core passions that make someone a really, really good UX designer. Yeah. So he also became a business analyst. So you can see this is a nice sort of like sort of holistic view around what he's doing. Now, he came to Bangkok, he was doing a little bit of teaching, but he did spend 5 years in the TMB Bank, which is one of the largest banks here in Bangkok, and obviously Thailand as well. And then he joined our little team, and yeah, we're really, really looking forward to getting to know you a little bit more. Let's go back to Istanbul. Imagine that you went back to Istanbul, wherever you were staying, and you said, hey, let's go for a coffee. Yeah. What would you tell yourself back then that would maybe help you improve your career of what it is today?
Yeah, that's really easy. I think I would go straight in and advise myself to go into design and learn the hard design skills, not like as in difficult, but as in the technical side of design thinking.
Right.
So immediately go in and start taking design courses and learn how to be a designer for UX and learn design thinking.
Yeah.
So I think that was what I, at that moment, kind of had to learn on my own. And I would advise myself, if I were to go back then, to learn that.
Nice. Okay. So actually, so what you're saying is because you had, you maybe had one side of the coin. You had the sort of holistic view, the society view, the empathy view, and things like that. But it was actually some of the hard skills that would have really helped you go further.
Right.
So speaking of those hard skills, what are some of the hard skills that people should look out to learn if they want to be a really good UX designer like you?
Yeah. Well, so I'd start immediately with basic design thinking. Learn how the basics, the fundamentals of design thinking.
Yeah.
And then after that, I would learn like applicable courses. So depending on where they wanted to design, whether it be specifics, I would go into the specifics of it. So if it were, for example, mobile app design for finance, it would be that. That combined with technical skills. So whatever program the designer wanted to use at the time. That comes with a little note though, and that's that all of these things change throughout the decades and the years. So you learn it, but
Photoshop for life.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It does change, and we have to adapt to these changes, but you learn these skills, and these are a bit difficult and these are technical, and you learn these skills in order to apply and to help your job in that area.
Brilliant. So I really like what you're saying of how they change. So I mean, it goes with the old saying is that knowing how to use the tool is better than maybe the tool itself.
Right.
And so for me, I loved Photoshop, and I was super fast with Photoshop. I loved showing off. I've got to be honest. When I was in front of a client and I'll say, right, okay, just tell me what you want, bang, and I could do it because I knew all the shortcuts, but I also knew the shortcuts that would make me go backwards and forwards really quickly.
Yeah. Right.
And they're like, "Wow, he's so quick!" Yes. With regards to the soft skills of what you do and what UX designers need to work in a corporate environment or even a freelance or a small agency, what are some of the key soft skills that you think people should concentrate on?
So the first one is empathy.
Nice.
So I think that the UX designer needs to have a lot of empathy and be able to feel as the customer might feel and be able to view things from a customer's point of view or a user's point of view. It depends on if you're customer facing or if you're just a user facing, depends on what kind of application we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing is being able to explain your work.
Yeah.
I see a lot of designers who are fantastic designers, but they're unable to convey what their designs mean and why they're
Brilliant.
doing it. So I think that that's something that everybody could benefit from, is to be able to kind of explain why they've done something the way that they've done it. And that comes through the design process. That goes back to why, you know, you learn the design process, and then that helps to validate what you're doing as a designer when you pitch a project to some stakeholders, something like that.
Brilliant.
The last thing is the ability to handle criticism.
I love this one. I love this one from what you said. Yeah, I really like this one.
Because there is no, in my view, there are many bad designs and many good designs, but the line and what validates it, and how to be able to receive the feedback, still justify your work. You have to be able to take it. You know, you have to be able to take some criticism. Everyone's gonna be able to find a fault, but if you're able to receive it, process it, and then you know, go one way or the other, then it will make you a better designer.
Brilliant. And again, it goes back onto, you know, the empathy of an even understanding the people telling you the feedback as well. And something that I have found as well is when somebody says something that you might not agree with, or maybe is not even correct, you know, in inverted commas, it might highlight something completely different that you never thought of.
Right.
So I really, really like that. So, you know, the empathy being the first, being able to sort of explain your ideas and take feedback. Brilliant. I love that. Now, okay, so can you tell us maybe, so you've done a lot of teaching in the past.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit of a funny story that you remember from teaching in the past?
Yeah. So I also did various business English courses. I taught diplomats, I taught business English.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Yeah. So one of them was, I was very young. It was one of my first jobs. I was studying economics, and I was a English teacher for one of the senior diplomats of the Embassy of Japan.
Right.
And she was preparing for a presentation that had to be in English.
Yeah.
Because it was a multicultural, or, you know, it was Hungarians, Japanese, and some other diplomats from other countries were all going to be joining this entourage.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who it was going to be for. So he asked me to prepare her for this presentation. So I gave some advice and, you know, guided her, thinking that it might be, you know, a fairly large event with some high-level diplomats, that kind of thing. Well, it turned out that afterwards, when I asked her who it was and how did it go, it turned out to be the Crown Prince of Japan. And
amazing! I love this story.
So had I known, I would have probably taken it a little bit more. I would have been a lot more nervous, I can tell you that.
Yeah, sure.
But it went relatively well. I guess there were no complaints. So
and she didn't get put in prison or anything. So
no. She got a promotion, actually.
Wow.
So I don't know if it had anything to do with me, but you know,
well, I do hope she took you out for a sushi dinner or something.
She did.
Excellent. Good on her. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. So I love that story. Thank you very much. Now, last question. Sure. What is exciting, Cliff, it doesn't have to be UX industry, but in the tech industry at the moment, what's exciting you?
So currently I just learned about this new technology. It's called non-fungible tokens.
Oh,
yeah. Now, I hope I said that correctly. I just learned about it this morning.
Brilliant.
Yeah, what it is it's a it's a blockchain technology that allows artists to sell their digital work with a fixed price. So basically, if you buy a piece of art using these non-fungible tokens, then you actually technically own that piece of art.
Wow.
Digital art, I mean.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty exciting. I don't know how it works, and I don't know if I'm even saying it correctly right now. I just listened to a podcast on it while I was running, and I thought it was really cool. So I thought it was, that's what was really exciting this morning. And so then that got me to thinking, well, how is the UX journey going to be?
Yeah.
Because now there are all these cryptocurrency trading apps and this kind of thing. So I was thinking, well, how are they going to deal with these digital art trading?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, maybe this is a new avenue of UX, some new journeys, some new apps.
Wow, nice.
No. So I got thinking about that, and we'll see what happens. So
Brilliant.
maybe it will evaporate, but I don't know.
That sounds really good, but I love the idea of anything about putting the power back into artists' hands.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. So especially them being able to sort of make some real money from their art is really good. Yep. So Cliff, thank you so much for this. It's been really, really good. And you can catch Cliff teaching things like design thinking, UX, UI, and many other wonderful subjects that will be expanding, especially for corporate training. So if you are a company, please reach out to us, and you might be able to be lucky enough to book Cliff to come and do some training with you.